The idea behind the Whiskey Room is that it's got an emphasis on Irish whiskey and exclusively on Irish whiskey. And as a result, that hasn't been done anywhere else in the world. So we have other whiskey rooms in other pubs, but nothing that celebrates Irish whiskey like this. Whereas what we wanted to do was have a menu of drinks that introduce people to the taste flavours of Irish whiskey.
We have quite a wide selection of single pot still Irish whiskies, and that's fantastic because most of them are designated to New York. And Rí-Rá is one of the only bars that has it in the state and also in most of America, to be honest with you. And they have a wide array of them, and that's what makes what we're doing here unique, amongst a lot of other things. So a single pot still whiskey is a blend of malted and unmalted barley. It's triple distilled in a huge copper pot stills in County Cork in Ireland, and the unmalted barley component gives it a lot of oiliness, a lot of creaminess, and it gives it a lot of spice. Single pot still Irish whiskey was what made Irish whiskey so famous during the 19th century, before the birth of blended Scotch, before all the things that happened in Ireland, and obviously World War I and Prohibition and stuff like that. So it's great to see single pot still whiskey coming back and having such a wide array of it here tonight. The aesthetic of it, we want it to be communal, and we also wanted to really showcase the diversity of Irish whiskey. So you have the grains, the blends, the single malts and the single pot stills, and they essentially act as going from an appetizer to dessert. The more you go into single malt and single pot still, the more flavourful, the more aggressive it's going to be, the more assertive. Where the single grains and the blends are sweeter, they're lighter. So we wanted to demonstrate that in this type of format. Within the punches, you have the 4 different styles of Irish whiskey are represented. So Midleton being pot still, Bushmills being single malt, Kilbeggan being a double distilled single malt, and then the last one being grain. So everything showcased, and that's consistent the whole way. Like in the bottle cocktails, there's 8 different drinks, so we've done 4 ways, and again that's single grain, single malt, single pot still blend, and it's the same with the Irish coffee and the Boilermakers. Everything has 4 different ways of doing it. It makes everything full, makes everything together. So it's not like we just put a shot of whiskey beside a beer. Everything had a reason for it.
And the whole idea is that there's a communal aspect to that, where you can get a punch bowl for 3 people or a punch bowl for 6 people, or you can get a cocktail made for 4 people. So there's no real elitism about it. It's very accessible. It all can be very geeky, and you don't want that to be geeky. You want it to be fun, you know? So the trial part of it is what we really encourage. You know, try a little piece of it, do it in a way that you don't have to be afraid to say I don't like it or I like this, but do it in a way that you can learn a little bit about the whiskey and then learn a little bit about the brand, because Irish whiskies have been around forever. For example, we worked with the state to bring in bottles here that no one else in the state has. So we'd like to be considered a destination that if you want to have a good cocktail made with good ingredients for a fair price, you'll come to Rí-Rá.